You're sitting at a cafe. The sun is warm, the coffee is perfect. You're finally healing from the worst day of your life. 7 years have passed since you lost everything. 7 years since you buried your wife. And then she walks past you. Not someone who looks like her. Her. The same walk, the same tilt of her head, the same scar above her eyebrow from when she fell off her bike as a child in Cebu. Your coffee cup shatters on the pavement. Your heart stops. Because the woman who just smiled at you in Miami in 2023 was laid to rest in Manila in 2016. Before we dive into this absolute nightmare, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because what I'm about to tell you will change how you see cruise vacations forever. And trust me, you'll want to be here when we update this case. Now let's get into it. Welcome to True Crime Mysteries. I'm your host, and today we're covering a case that exposes something truly terrifying about the world we live in. This isn't just about one couple. This is about a system so broken, so full of cracks, that a person can literally cease to exist and then come back to life, and nobody can stop it. Everything I'm sharing is based on court documents, police reports, investigative journalism, and details that only surfaced in the last year. Some names have been changed, but the facts, they're all disturbingly real. Let me take you back to 2014. Robert Chen, a 38-year-old software engineer from San Jose, California, meets Maria Santos at a medical conference in San Francisco. She's 29, a registered nurse who immigrated from the Philippines 3 years earlier. Everyone who knew them said the same thing. They were it, the couple everyone wanted to be. Smart, successful, deeply in love. They got married in 2015. Small ceremony in Napa Valley, honeymoon in Bali. Picture perfect, right? By February 2016, they're celebrating their first anniversary, and Robert wants to make it special. So he books a 7-day Caribbean cruise on the Pacific Dream, massive luxury liner. 3,000 passengers, 1,200 crew members, all-inclusive paradise. Unlimited champagne, romantic sunsets. What could possibly go wrong? Everything. February 12th, 2016. Day 3 of the cruise. The ship is somewhere between Grand Cayman and Cozumel, floating in international waters. According to Robert's later statement to investigators, the day was perfect. Pool time, dinner at the Italian restaurant on Deck 9. Then around 9 p.m., they headed to the casino. Security footage shows them at a blackjack table at 9:37 p.m. Maria is laughing. Robert has his arm around her waist. They look happy, genuinely happy. At 10:45, Maria tells Robert she's not feeling well. Maybe seasick, maybe too much wine at dinner. She heads back to their cabin on Deck 5, room 538. Robert stays at the casino. Just one more hand, he says. The last time Robert Chen saw his wife alive was when she walked toward the elevator bank. That's it. That's the last moment. Now pause and think about that. How many times have you said goodbye to someone casually? See you in a bit. Be right back. No big moment, no dramatic farewell, just an ordinary see you later. And for Robert, that ordinary moment was the last one. At 2:37 a.m., a crew member doing routine rounds on Deck 7 makes a discovery that changes everything. A woman's body, face down on the promenade deck near the back of the ship, unresponsive. The ship's medical team arrives within minutes, but there's nothing they can do. She's gone. Here's where this story takes its first really dark turn. The body has significant facial trauma. The ship's medic says it's consistent with a fall from an upper deck. But here's the problem. The injuries are so severe that immediate visual identification is nearly impossible. So how do they know who she is? Robert is woken up at 3:15 a.m. by ship security. He's escorted down to the medical bay, and what happens next is based entirely on his word. He identifies the body as Maria based on 4 things. The wedding ring, it has their initials engraved inside, R and M 2015. The clothing, a blue sundress she wore earlier that night. A small tribal tattoo on her left ankle, something Maria got in college. And general body type, hair length, build. But here's what kept me up at night researching this case. With facial injuries that severe, and identification based on jewelry and clothing, doesn't that feel dangerous? Shouldn't there have been more? A birthmark? A dental check? Something definitive? The ship's captain logs it as an accidental death. Probable cause, intoxication leading to a fall. There's a note in the report about Maria having a few drinks that evening. Robert insists she wasn't drunk, just tipsy, happy, but not impaired. And now the real nightmare begins. Because when something happens on a cruise ship in international waters, the rules get really, really messy. The Pacific Dream was registered in the Bahamas. It carried American passengers. The incident happened between two countries, miles from any coastline. Maritime law says the flag state, in this case the Bahamas, has primary jurisdiction. But the Bahamas doesn't send investigators to every cruise incident. It's impossible. So who investigates? The ship's security team. The same people employed by the cruise line. The same people who have every financial reason to make problems go away quickly and quietly. No FBI, no independent forensic team, no real investigation. The body is placed in the ship's morgue, a small refrigerated room below deck. The ship continues to Cozumel, Mexico, arriving on February 13th at noon. Mexican authorities come aboard. They briefly examine the body, but Maria is insistent. Maria was Catholic. Her family in the Philippines wants her home for a proper burial. He has all the paperwork. She has her passport. He just wants to honor her wishes and get her home.
After 48 hours, the Mexican authorities release the body. No full autopsy, no detailed forensic workup, no DNA confirmation. The body is embalmed, sealed in a casket, and put on a plane to Manila. Let that sink in for a second. A woman dies under questionable circumstances, and within 72 hours, her body is on another continent. The evidence is gone. The investigation is over. Case closed. Now, I want you to drop a comment and let me know where you're watching from. Are you team cruise ships or team never setting foot on one? Because this case might change your mind. Robert returns to California destroyed. Friends said he was a shell of himself. He took a month off work, started therapy twice a week. In March 2016, there's a funeral in Manila. Closed casket. The family requested it because of the extent of the injuries. Maria's mother, her sisters, hundreds of relatives and friends. Robert flies over, stands at the grave, and watches them lower the casket into the ground. He comes back to the States and tries to rebuild. The life insurance policy pays out $750,000. Robert doesn't touch it for months. When he finally does, he donates a chunk to a cruise ship safety advocacy group. He does interviews, he pushes for reform. He becomes the face of a movement demanding better protocols for deaths at sea. By all accounts, Robert Chen is a grieving widower doing everything right. But here's the thing about investigations. Sometimes the questions don't come until later, and when they do come, they hit hard. Other passengers start coming forward. A couple from Texas says they saw Robert and Maria arguing loudly near the pool on the afternoon of February 12th. Robert denies it, says they're misremembering. Another passenger says she saw a woman matching Maria's description on deck 10 around midnight, alone, crying. The security footage for a critical 2-hour window, corrupted. The cruise line says it's a technical malfunction, happened sometimes with the older camera systems. How convenient. Several crew members who were working that night never formally interviewed. The investigative report is 12 pages long. 12 pages for a death investigation. In 2019, an investigative journalist writes a deep dive piece questioning the whole case. She points out every inconsistency, the lack of forensic evidence, the rushed timeline, the convenient gaps. Robert sues the cruise line for negligence and wrongful death. They settle out of court. The amount is undisclosed, but sources say it's in the low 7 figures. For 3 years, the case sits in that weird limbo space, technically closed but forever unsettled. People online have theories. Some think Robert did something. Others think the cruise line covered up their own liability. Most people just forget about it entirely. Life moves on. And Robert? He moves on too. He starts dating again in 2020, moves to Miami in 2022 for a new job, builds a new life. The grief is always there, but it's manageable now. He's surviving. Until June 15th, 2023. Robert is in Miami's Wynwood district for a business lunch. Trendy area, art galleries, outdoor cafes. He's sitting outside at a small table, scrolling through his phone, waiting for his coffee. It's a beautiful day. Warm breeze, blue sky, and then he sees her. A woman walking down the sidewalk, sunglasses, casual clothes, dark hair pulled back, and something in Robert's brain just screams. He looks up, really looks, and his entire world stops. It's the walk, that specific way she swings her left arm slightly more than her right, the posture, the height. And when she turns her head to glance at a mural, he sees it, the scar, the tiny white line above her left eyebrow. Robert stands up so fast his chair tips over, his coffee cup hits the ground and explodes. People are staring. He doesn't care. He's moving towards her, his heart slamming against his ribs. She's maybe 20 feet away now, 15, 10, and then she looks directly at him. For just a second, maybe two, their eyes meet, and Robert swears he sees recognition, a flicker of something. Fear? Surprise? Guilt? Then she turns and disappears into the crowd near a street market. Robert runs after her. He's pushing past tourists, street vendors, musicians, but she's gone, vanished. He searches for an hour, walks every block in a 6-block radius. Nothing. He goes back the next day, and the next, stakes out the same cafe for a week. No sign of her. His therapist thinks he's having a breakdown. His friends are worried, but Robert knows what he saw. So he does the only thing he can think of. He hires a private investigator. And that's when things get really insane. The PI is a former cop, works missing persons cases, knows what he's doing. He starts running facial recognition software on every camera feed he can access near Wynwood. Coffee shops, ATMs, traffic cams. It takes 2 weeks, but he gets a hit. The woman works at a hospital in Coral Gables, 10 miles from where Robert saw her. Her name, according to employment records, is Michelle Torres. The PI digs deeper. Michelle Torres has a clean background, no criminal record, valid nursing license, social security number. Everything checks out, except for one little problem. Michelle Torres didn't exist before 2017. No birth certificate, no school records, no employment history. Nothing. It's like she materialized out of thin air the year after Maria Santos died. The PI pulls a photo from the employee directory. He puts it next to Maria's old photos, runs it through facial recognition software. 94% match. That's not a resemblance. That's the same person. Robert wants to go to the police immediately, but the PI tells him to wait. They need more. So they follow her. For 3 days, they watch her routine. She leaves her apartment at 7 a.m., stops at the same Starbucks, gets to the hospital by 7:45, works a 12-hour shift, comes home. Normal life.
On day 4, Robert can't take it anymore. He waits in the hospital parking lot. When she comes out at 8 p.m., he approaches. "Michelle," he says. She stops, turns, looks at him with zero recognition. "I'm sorry, do I know you?" Her voice. It's Maria's voice. Same slight accent, same cadence. Robert is shaking. "Maria, it's me. It's Robert. You died. I buried you." She takes a step back. "Sir, I think you have me confused with someone else. My name is Michelle Torres. I've never seen you before in my life, and if you don't leave me alone right now, I'm calling the police." Robert pulls out his phone, shows her a photo from their wedding. "That's you," he says. "That's us." She barely glances at it. "That's not me. I don't know who that is, but it's not me. Please leave me alone." She gets in her car and drives away. Robert is standing there, hands shaking, mind racing. The PI saw the whole thing. He tells Robert they need to be careful. Legally, they can't force her to do anything, can't demand a DNA test, can't compel her to talk, not without evidence of an actual crime. But the PI has one more move. He manages to pull Michelle Torres' fingerprints from a background check she did when she got her nursing license. It's all public record if you know where to look. He runs them through the Filipino National Database, and there it is, 99.7% match. Michelle Torres is Maria Santos. So now the question isn't if, it's how. How do you fake your own death on a cruise ship? How do you get a body that isn't you buried under your name in another country? How do you build an entirely new identity and live a normal life for 7 years without anyone noticing? The theory investigators are working with now goes like this.
Maria planned this. Maybe not alone, but she planned it. She likely had an accomplice on the ship, another passenger who went missing around the same time, a woman whose disappearance was never reported because she had no family, no connections, nobody looking for her. Maria stages the scene, swaps her ID onto the other woman's body. The injuries obscure the face. Robert identifies the body based on planted evidence, the ring, the clothes. The tattoo could be faked, or the other woman could have had a similar one. The body gets rushed off the ship before anyone can do a real investigation. It gets embalmed and sealed, which destroys any chance of later DNA testing. Maria disappears, lays low for a year, uses the life insurance payout Robert received to fund her new start. By 2017, she's Michelle Torres. New social security number, likely bought on the black market. New nursing license in Florida, where the verification process has known gaps. New life. But why? That's what haunts Robert. Why would she do this? They were happy, weren't they? Or was he living a lie a whole time? The FBI is now involved. They're looking into whether this is connected to a larger human trafficking or identity fraud ring, because if Maria did this, she didn't do it alone. Someone helped her, and if they helped her, how many others? As of right now, February 2024, Michelle Torres has disappeared again. She stopped showing up to work in January. Her apartment is empty, no forwarding address. It's like she evaporated again. Robert is fighting to get the life insurance money reclaimed. The company is suing him, saying he was complicit. He's broken, and completely lost. Here's what keeps me up at night. Every year, over 200 people disappear from cruise ships. Just gone, overboard, missing. Most cases, never solved. Because once you're in international waters, the laws barely apply. It's the perfect place to vanish or to make someone else vanish. The cruise industry lobbies hard against independent investigations, against mandatory forensic protocols, against anything that might slow down their profit machine. And people keep dying, keep disappearing, and nothing changes. So I want to hear from you. Drop a comment right now. What do you think happened? Was Maria running from something? Was this planned for years? Is Robert innocent, or does he know more than he's saying? And have you ever been on a cruise ship and felt unsafe? Let's talk about it. If this case shook you, smash that like button. Share this video with someone who needs to hear this story, because the more people know, the harder it is for these things to stay buried. And make sure you're subscribed with notifications on. This case is ongoing, and when there's an update, you'll want to be here. The truth is, our systems are built on trust. We trust that when something goes wrong, someone will investigate, that justice will happen, that the truth will come out. But cases like this prove that sometimes the system isn't broken. It was designed this way, to protect corporations, to prioritize convenience over truth, and that should terrify all of us. Next time you step onto a cruise ship, remember Maria Santos, or Michelle Torres, or whoever she really is. Remember that the ocean is vast and the laws are murky, and sometimes people just disappear, and nobody can stop it. Thanks for watching True Crime Mysteries. I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe out there.